really made.
This is FYF Sportsman. It's Lamont. We're back with another podcast episode. And we're back today with our NBA season summary videos. We're going to be starting today with the Atlanta Hawks, one of the more surprising teams out of the Eastern Conference. We know going into this past season, they did a lot to bolster that roster. However, we never really saw how elite this team could be until they blossomed at the end of the year and made some surprises. And surprised a lot of us in the NBA playoffs this year. Before we get started with the Atlanta Hawks season summary, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you haven't done so on YouTube already. Follow us on Newsbreak. We're going to be dropping these season summary videos for every single NBA team where we discuss, the future the future output of this particular team. Who can they bring back? The core group that they are looking to keep, and what moves they need to make in the offseason to prepare for next season, and also the NBA draft. But let's go ahead and get started with the Atlanta Hawks season summary. The Atlanta Hawks may have been knocked out in the Eastern Conference Finals, but they definitely exceeded expectations. A big reason for that was the appointment of Nate McMillan as the interim head coach just before the off. Then even beat the top-seeded Philadelphia 76ers in the conference semifinals, much in part to the brilliance of Trae Young. ATL currently has a good thing going, and it only made sense to make Nate McMillan the head coach for the foreseeable future. His experience in the league is second to none, and he just proved what he's capable of in a short amount of time with this Hawks group. The next step will be to get Trae Young more weapons as the Atlanta Hawks aim to be in the playoff picture for many years to come. As the Atlanta Hawks head into the offseason, they have to decide on some upcoming free agents. John Collins, who's a restricted free agent, they're kind of iffy on him with regards to how they're going to proceed with that particular contract. I think they're going to allow the market to dictate his value, maybe see what offers he receives from other teams. And if the offers are reasonable, I see the Atlanta Hawks matching any offer for John Collins, unless the team is really willing to go pay John Collins the max extension, something that I do not think the Hawks will be willing to max. Solomon Hill and Tony Snell are core guys off that bench who I feel they may look to bring back just to bolster the end of the bench. Solomon Hill's hustle and energy coming in when guys were injured was really key mid-season for this Hawk team. Tony Snell, a bit overpaid. I don't know if he's a future piece for this team, but he's a very solid player if you're looking to stay formidable, especially if you want to make a deep run in the playoffs. And Lou Williams showed flashes in the playoffs that he could be his old self. However, Lou Williams has come out publicly and indicated he's looking for a deal over $10 million per year. All right, tools to improve the roster. Well, the Hawks, they do have $20 million in cap space, but will that cap space be used to re-sign John Collins? It is expected that they will use that cap space to bring John Collins back. However, if they don't, there are some very solid power forwards on the market that they could replace him with. However, with the chemistry that we saw between Collins, Capella, Trae Young, I do not think the Hawks will be looking to move on from John Collins this offseason. They do have a mid-level exception of $9.5 million that could potentially be used to bring another veteran in to help this core group of players. Maybe a more solid backup point guard to help Trae Young so he doesn't have to play high minutes all of the time. And they also have the number 20 draft pick. Key moves to make for the Atlanta Hawks in the offseason. Number one, re-sign John Collins. 2, use the mid-level exception to re-sign Lou Williams. His experience was vital for this team in the playoffs, especially when we saw Trae Young go down with injury. And then lastly, potentially explore trade options to offload Danilo Gallinari's remaining 2 years and $41 million. Gallinari was very good for this team, but with the blossoming of Bogdanovic and some of the other young guys on this team, such as Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter, I don't think Gallinari's services will be needed much longer with this Hawks team. Just looking at their salary cap, looking at their situation, it looks like the Atlanta Hawks have a promising future with the core group of guys that they have. You guys, let me know in the comments what you think about the Atlanta Hawks. I think the Atlanta Hawks going into next season can come back with an even better roster based on the moves that they make in the offseason. They have a lot of cap flexibility. They have a lot of options with regards to trades, mid-level exceptions, and in even the biggest decision, they have some flexibility with John Collins because he is a restricted free agent. So I think the Hawks are in good shape. My prediction is next year I could see the Hawks being anywhere between a 1 and 4 seed. I have a feeling that the Knicks will take a step back. I think the Hawks will step up and potentially be one of those top 4 teams in the East, really contending, especially if they can avoid major injuries and if they can keep this core group of players together and happy. But again, let me know in the comments what you think about the Atlanta Hawks. These are my thoughts, just kind of based on the numbers. I look for them to look for a shooter in the draft. If you're looking at that number 20 pick area, a guy like Corey Kispert, there are other shooters in this draft, but if they can get an older young player to add to this core, add more shooting around John Collins, around Capella, because of Trae Young's ability to play make, that would be a great addition to the team with regards to the draft. But again, you guys let me know what you think. We'll be back with more sports and news later. We're going to be doing every single NBA team's summary. So continue to watch out for these videos. We got to break down the future output for all of these teams going into next season. So it's FYF Sports. It's been another great podcast episode. We'll be back with more sports and news later. But until then, it's FYF Sports. And we out.
Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. I'm talking be my all clean, fit too mean, finger all shiny on my baby's diamond ring. I was on a high till I caught onto the scene. Swear I lost my heart when I fell in love with things. Rookie year went broke like Jalen Rose. Got the price, sold my soul to the things I own. Switched up, locked in and got my mind right. Prioritizing, got my business and my time right. Wristwatch, no TikTok, you know the crown. I get guap, then flip stocks, you know it now. My baby's loyal and she holds it down. Play with my fam and I might blame you, but it's going down. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. Windows tinted, never rented, but I've been accused. Numbers up and we need no recruits. Leather loafers for the tailored suits. Making moves that you can never do. You sure I'm cool, but I'm never amused. When I cop it by the tools. The weather change, I change the views. I drop a record and I watch it boom. You see me working like one on a Zoom. Was that since I left the womb? I'm staying silent when I'm in the room. From the soil, now you see me bloom. Zoom, and it's to the moon. Stop making promises you never keep. Out of touch and never out of reach. Dot the I's across the T's. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. Not gon' trip if the sun don't shine. Not gon' trip, you know I get mine. 2020 vision, I want all the loot. 2020 vision, I want all the loot.